welcome into our first ever In the Driver's Seat. And joining me today is Joe Fuca, CEO of Reputation.com. Joe's a 30-year tech veteran in Silicon Valley. He's led private and public companies through worldwide growth phases, transformative customer success, and category leadership. And Joe, it's a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be with you today. Really excited to have a chat.
So we're in the driver's seat, but you're in the garage. So before we start, I got to ask you about a sweet set of wheels you've got there behind you. Tell me the story about the red car.
I got a couple of sweet set of wheels, but the most important one that's near and dear to my heart is this 91 Corvette behind me. It's what they call a Greenwood Corvette, and it was my father's car. He's a veteran, and on the license plate it has his Purple Heart. And so I decided with my brothers that I would buy this car from my brothers and then use it with them anytime we get together for family reunions. And so, yeah, I'm going to dip my head out of the way. You can totally see it there. We have a good time with it and at all of our family reunions. So pretty cool.
Excellent. So Joe, Reputation.com is a pioneer in the online reputation management category, as most know, and now you're expanding your own leadership position with Reputation Experience Management Platform. Tell us a little bit more about Reputation.com and really how it's delivering innovative, customer-driven solutions.
Yeah, so we've been Reputation.com for a while, and the platform has always been centered on the customer and their reactions to auto dealer services, auto dealer sales process. And what we did is we essentially added the whole experience element to the platform. And so now we've got Reputation Experience Management. And basically what it does is it has all the different listening posts that a dealership could possibly have. So whether it's surveys coming in, whether it's reviews, whether it's your search capabilities, like people actually finding you and how they find you online, anything to do with social content, people commenting on social. So just think of any way that you could communicate to the dealership or to the actual manufacturer about their products and services. So we thought, okay, well, if we got all these listening posts, why don't we call it the Experience Management Platform, and then we'll throw our name on top of it, and that way you have what's a complete platform for everything that's happening.
All right, Joe, Reputation.com just came out with its 2020 Automotive Reputation Report Update, which includes digital endurance in the new normal. What does a reputation report like this one include?
Yeah, we're really excited about it. We just released it today. Think of 33,000 dealerships and all their data piling into this database where we can actually use that data to decipher who's doing well in reputation or not. So think of your FICO score as you would in, trying to get a loan or something. We do a FICO score based on that auto industry where they can judge themselves versus other dealerships. And so what we do is we take all that data, we rank it by the OEM manufacturer, we rank it by brand, luxury brand. We'll even do large group dealerships, small group dealerships, all against each other, as well as the individual dealerships. And so the way it looks is basically you've got a reputation score, which is 0 to 1,000. And in most cases, the score actually indicates how well you're doing as a dealership. And so the higher the score, the higher the sales, the higher the service sales as well. And so the exciting thing in this report is you'll see different things kind of jump out at you. So for example, in the US, Nissan was number one in terms of the OEM brands. Hendrick was the number one in terms of large group, non-public. AutoNation, which just announced its best earnings in the history of the company last week, was number one for public groups. And they're all quoted in the report and talking about how online reputation really helps them in terms of building their rapport and loyalty with their customers. This same type of rapport we do across multiple industries. Auto is super important to us, but we also do other really large industries that the consumer really matters.
Joe, are there some brands that need a little more work in that reputation department?
Yeah, great question. So last year, Mitsubishi actually ranked last in North America, and they've actually moved up a couple of steps because they really they literally called us after the report and said, hey, we need some help here. And so we went in to kind of work with them, and they've actually started to move their reputation up. Tesla is ranked very low. And it's funny because as you and I look at our stock discussions, Tesla ranks really high, right? And so when you look at Tesla, they have not done very well because from a service perspective, they're not down the street as a normal, what I'll call, normal dealership is. And people want service. People want to be able to drive their car down, get a quick oil change, or be able to get questions answered. And Tesla just ranks super low in that category. They don't really have any online engagement either for service. And so this is the second year now that we've seen them rank pretty low in the rankings.
So what steps can car dealerships take to increase their overall rankings and feedback? And really, what should dealers be doing differently in 2021?
Yeah, so think of it in 2021. I mean, let's combine that question with COVID. All right, so we've got this whole section in our report that's new this year based on COVID-19 response and what's happening with the pandemic, and it's really kind of lent a whole new twist to the report because now people are really focused on, well, why are certain dealerships doing so well at the tail end of the pandemic? I'm calling it the tail end, but I think in terms of post-April, and why are they doing so well? And so when you look at things that you could do well to score higher in the reputation score, it's all about the same things we're seeing in the COVID-19 area. Like, example, people want cleanliness. People want really super clean cars. They're very fixated on cleanliness. They're fixated on people wearing masks in and out of the test drive. They're very fixated on making sure that safety is the number one priority. So we see things like valet services as really important. So, I was telling my wife this morning, like, let's have somebody come by and pick up the car because we need an oil change. So I don't want to go to the dealership for that. I just want quick valet service. If it's free, all the better. And so the things that we're seeing, the data that we're gathering is that today's auto buyer or auto owner really wants those types of things that are important. And so what can you do? You can create things like a smooth valet service. How about a test drive scheduling concept that's done online? And then you make sure that when you show up with that car, it's absolutely super clean. It's got a little, stamp of approval that was clean. These are the kinds of things that are coming out, not, I would call this an abnormal year, wouldn't you? And I think that's really
100%.
important. Yeah.
It's probably going to move the whole idea of reputation to a different level. I'm sure COVID's going to accelerate a lot of that thinking, right? And really set a new benchmark for dealers when it comes to reputation management.
It does, because think about what we're talking about. We're talking about online reputation management. So what is online? Everything from people trying to find the dealership and the car that they want. Get this, 27% increase in online activity since the pandemic. Why? Obvious reason, right? I'm not getting out of my house to go drive from dealership to dealership. I'm almost forced to do online research, online buying, as well as setting up all my scheduled test drives. So that we saw a 27% increase in online activity. And by the way, we track it all. So we know the actual real numbers through Google because we do that for a lot of our customers. And it's all about that traffic and getting people into that test drive and getting them into that new car that they want. It's a completely different shift. And if you think about it, correlated to healthcare, before the pandemic, people wanted to do telehealth for quick and easy appointments. But at the end of the day, it was moving really slow. After the pandemic, we have 70% of all healthcare appointments on telehealth. So relate that to auto, and you can see the amount of surgence of online activity.
All right, Joe, I know that red vet behind you does a mean 0 to 60 time. We have our own 0 to 60 challenge. And basically, I'm gonna ask you a set of questions, and we're gonna get rapid fire answers from you in order for our viewers to get a chance to get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
You in?
I don't know if I'm ready for this, man, but give it a shot. I got no pre-questions here. I just want everybody to know this. This could go anywhere.
What was your first car, Joe?
It was the beautiful Plymouth Duster.
Oh, and I'm sure you dusted the competition with it.
Oh man, all I can remember is the day that I hit the bottom of a dip with it and ruined the oil pan, and my father still says stuff to me today.
First job?
First job was moving furniture out of college. You got to do something quick in order to be able to get to the real jobs.
So you took the duster to go move the furniture. All right. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh man, probably the song that my wife and I we love it when we first started dating, "Against All Odds" by Phil Collins, and we had a lot of fun trying to sing that together.
An 80s classic for sure. The last book you read?
Selling in the Cloud. I happen to write a small chapter in it. It just came out last week, and it's a pretty cool book about understanding how to actually sell in the cloud world and technology.
Were you reading it to make sure that the typos were okay?
Yes. I read all the other chapters except the one I wrote.
If you were a ball player, what would your walk-up song be? And it can't be Phil Collins.
Oh man, that's a great one. I would think for those about to rock from AC/DC.
Wow, you go every end of the spectrum.
Let's go.
Hell's bells to Phil Collins. Joe, thanks so much for being in the driver's seat, the inaugural in the driver's seat.
Yeah,
It's
it was
great
good
to have you
being
on.
with you here today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe.